Drunkduckers, this is Ozone Ocean, with me is Tance and Baines. Hello!
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, we got an echo.
Really?
Really?
So this Quackcast, we're talking about Things Undrawn, which was a forum post by this genius, this amazingly clever person called Takoyama. Thanks, Takoyama. That was really cool.
Thank you.
Idea for a forum post. So we're going to be talking about that. But before we get into that, so welcome back. Quackcast number 765 we're up to now. Oh my goodness me, we're just keeping on with the keeping on. So this week we're talking about Things Left Undrawn, which is a forum post by a clever person called Takoyama. But we have the featured comic up first. I featured a comic this week called Base Reality. So I'm going to tell you about Base Reality now. Hello, I'm Ozone Ocean, and my feature for the week was Base Reality. What do you do when you keep losing at life? You play games to escape from reality, of course. But what if you keep losing at the games too? This is an inception of a beautifully cyclical scenario of a person who loses at every possible level. Have you seen The Matrix? The 13th Floor? Existenz? This sort of goes even deeper than any of those. Levels within levels within levels. And it's totally finished. The story only has 42 pages. The famous Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy number. So, which is the meaning of life, the universe, and everything, which this comic is totally encapsulates. So could that be a coincidence? Maybe. You can read the whole thing very quickly and take it all in. The art is simplified, but well designed and nicely comical. The story is simple, but clever, funny, and well constructed. Overall, it's a good little project by Steve Blotto, and it's rated T for teen. So definitely give this one a read. That was me talking about featured comic Base Reality. Okay, so now I'm going to be talking about Gunwallace's music this week. So Gunwallace hasn't given us a theme, so it's not a best of. And the best of this week is Alienated. This is as if Joni Mitchell wrote a classical adventure anthem. This tune urges you on into the vastness and glory of nature. You are Caspar David Friedrich, a wanderer over a sea of fog, with the world in all its awesomeness spread out far below you. Take it away, Gunwallace, with your theme to Alienated. Best of Gunwallace's theme. Hope you enjoyed that. Okay, so now we're talking about Things Undrawn, where Takoyama came up with this particular subject in the forums, which was pretty cool, and I'll link to that in the thread. Takoyama, of course, now this is pretty cool. Takoyama does the comic Thrudd Goddess of Thunder, right? And Thrudd Goddess of Thunder is our theme tune. Gunwallace's theme tune. So that's a connection with Thrudd. Thank you very much.
Takoyama world.
What's that based on?
I think it's Marshmallow World.
Oh god, no idea.
Me neither, for sure. I'll have to look it up.
So yeah, so that's a pretty cool connection. But yeah, Takoyama came up with this. Name sounds Japanese. He's not Japanese. He's American. But she came up with this great idea. And what he says is, in making of my comic, I've noticed there are things I have never drawn. I'm not talking really strange things like a dragon or zombies, but normal stuff like grocery stores, toilets, public libraries, concerts, etc. Are there mundane things you have not drawn much? Does it mean my comic is not well rounded if I have not drawn those things? That's interesting. Which I don't think that's the case at all. I definitely don't think your comic isn't well rounded if you haven't drawn everything there is under the sun. You know, whether they're mundane things or extraordinary things. I think, like, we all have, you know, stuff within the limited scope of our comics that doesn't make sense for us to include. Like, say, in Bottomless Waitress, they're never going to visit a concert hall or a public library. I mean, they could, but it's unlikely.
Oh, very unlikely, yeah.
Because, you know, that is expanding the scope beyond the kind of, you know, action that happens within the comic. It's set within a diner, and the environs of that, which is a very kind of narrow scope. To, like, expand too much would take away from the setting. So it'd have to be, you know, a specially influenced reason for that. So there's that kind of thing. But there are some things that we don't draw just because it's not appropriate for the comic. Like seeing people on using, you know, restrooms and things, to use a nice term for it. We're not really involved.
I think is page 1 on Pinky TA. Your comic.
Yes. Oh my god. Yeah, back then I didn't give a crap. But yeah, Bottomless Waitress is a bit more kind of it plays with certain aspects of, I don't know, eroticism and stuff like that. So it's being more careful about that kind of stuff. So anyway, there are certain things that it's not going to show, and that's quite interesting. I mean, yeah, things left undrawn, which is that's an amazing title for a topic, isn't it? Because say in Bottomless Waitress, it is like the whole idea of bottomlessness, right? But we don't show what's bottomless. Like, sometimes I hint very, like, sneakily at it in a very naughty way, but we don't actually go into showing, like, labias and vaginas and all this kind of stuff, and bum holes and stuff like that. We don't show that kind of stuff. It's like it's undrawn. Like, there's aprons and apron strings and I don't know, furniture and stuff like that. So that stays undrawn, and that's it. That's our clever kind of way of getting around that kind of stuff. So yeah, even though it's part of the topic of the comic and it's part of the interest, it's never drawn.
Yeah, I love that. I think even seeing a bare butt, not like sort of actual sexual organs, I never would have thought of those going in there, but like just seeing a bare butt. I think it was you guys on this Quackcast one time who mentioned that they're always covered by apron strings, if nothing else.
Yeah.
And that was brilliant. I didn't even realize that at first. So in the layouts, I would always, after that, would make sure that it's always covered up. Yeah.
I think I might have snuck them in.
Funny. Yeah.
Maybe there might be some appearances of it. But, yeah.
There, but they are few and far between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can get away with butts being shown in a wider rating of things without it being obscene. But yeah, most of the time it's apron strings down the middle.
I just love it as a choice, like just as a sort of comedic choice or creative choice, I guess.
Mhm.
It's like, and it's called Bottomless Waitress, and like you never see a naked butt completely. It's very funny to me. Yeah,
Mhm.
but you still get, I think you still get the goods of what people want to see that comic for. Anyway.
Yeah. So that's a great example of things undrawn.
Sure.
I think there are other examples of stuff that's undrawn, but for different reasons. I was talking to Tance about this earlier when we did our video. Like animals.
Mhm.
That's hard for me to draw. It's a different kind of anatomy and bodies and stuff like that. It's I could, but it's challenging. So I don't draw animals usually.
Yeah.
Like now that you mention it, another thing that's left undrawn on purpose in Without Moonlight is the whole the bling, the Nazi bling that they would historically wear on their uniform jackets. So they would have even like privates and stuff, not just the SS or whatever. They would have different little badges and ribbons and stuff that they would wear on their person because they had a lot of quote unquote gold stars that they were being issued for like stupid things
Yeah.
and not so stupid, depending. So you had like a, if I remember right, because it's been some time since I researched that they had like a ribbon for serving X amount of time in the army, and it wasn't really like a year or half a year or something like that. And then they had another little badge that they could pin on their collar or something, or their breast pocket, about doing X amount of specific tasks, you know, a range of things. And so every little blickhead had a range of these pins and bling and ribbons and stuff on their jacket. And so if I wanted to be fully accurate, I would have to draw these things, at least the standard ones, the ones that were ubiquitous, almost everyone had them.
Mhm.
And and it's not that I didn't research and couldn't, have a reference picture up and copy it. It's that I specifically didn't want to draw any bling on them that I didn't absolutely have to, like the rank epaulets, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, no, you don't get your little gold stars on my comic. Yeah, you just have the
Badges and
plain
things.
stuff that you don't actually like, and you cannot pin stuff on it on my comic. So that I did that on purpose.
It's funny you should mention that. There used to be this guy who was popular on YouTube for a while, and then he just got like cancelled and deleted. But he was popular because he was an SS cosplayer.
Oh,
So he was like he wasn't a Nazi, but he would do that in reenactments. So you know how they have American soldiers reenactments and British soldiers. He would play the German side. So he wasn't like politically like active. He was just, and he wasn't dressing up in the uniforms because he was wanting to be a Nazi. He was being the German side from World War II, and would explain all the different uniform aspects. He'd say, yes, the Allemand SS, that was the black uniform SS people. They dressed in this particular way, and then you'd have this little medal here, and we'd all have everybody would have this particular one. It didn't matter, what you'd actually done. If you served it like 6 months, you'd have this little stupid bronze pin, and then you have this one, then you have this metal ribbon tucked into the middle here, and the buttons, there's nothing actually attached to it. but it's a ribbon that represents the fact everybody got this little medal. So he explained all those things. But yeah, unfortunately he disappeared. I mean, it's not unfortunate. It's unfortunate someone with that much knowledge has disappeared, but it's fortunate that someone who kept on dressing up in that way, given the particular political climate, has stopped doing it, you know? So it's not appropriate to keep on dressing that way.
And it makes me wonder, like, why would you want to? I mean, I understand, and it is very, very, very significant. We should know historical stuff about the Nazis and the SS and stuff. But why would you want to put that stuff on your person? Like, why? Why would there is some? We wear stuff that we like, in a sense. Why would you do that? At least for me, that's how I approach things. So.
Yes. Well, who knows what he's doing now? I think YouTube probably cancelled him because YouTube doesn't like political symbols. So, yeah, it's that happened.
Yeah.
I was always like, I admired the fact that he had the knowledge. But I was just like, oh, come on, guys. Just, like, stop doing it, please. It makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't want I like hearing you impart the knowledge, but I don't like seeing it dressing that way.
Thank you. That's exactly it.
Oh, dear.
The only, you know what, the only respect I have for people that do it is it only the actors that dress up as Nazis to show exactly how horrible Nazis are, and usually, especially in older movies, the people that played the best, quote unquote best, I mean, like the most loathsome and scary Nazis were the ones that fought them like actually fought them in the war. So yeah, respect to those people because they did it for a specific purpose and to show specific things. But when you dress up as a cosplayer, it's like, look at my bling that I'm wearing, you know. That is, so.
It's always a bit weird. I mean, as you're saying, the people who fought them, you know, like Hogan's Heroes is like, I gain new respect for that show when you realize that most of the people playing Nazis are people who fought the Nazis directly or imprisoned by them and had a hard time with them, and or are just Jewish people. So that's incredible. That show, I freaking love that show more than I ever used to. So yeah, that's a very cool show. But yeah, okay, so things Undrawn. Like there's a hell of a lot of things that I don't draw. Hell of a lot of things. See, but in say Pinky TA, when I began the comic, I kind of had this thing where I'd just task myself to, if the story calls for it, I'll draw it. And it doesn't matter if I know how to draw it, I'll try my best and I'll learn and I'll just go for it. And I'll treat myself like I'll just whip myself until I do it. I will just force myself. I don't care. But I don't know. I think these days I'm a bit more conservative about that, and I would just go, I don't want to put myself through that.
Yeah. We'll just talk about that horseback ride or whatever. Have it off screen. Just tell them about it.
Exactly. Yeah, like, oh my god, this huge, massive crowd scene, this massive battle with all these people. Yes, and we'll just sort of, talk about what happened exactly. That's can have a radio report about that. I can show you.
I'm trying to think if there were animals in Pinky TA ever. I'm not remembering.
Like, trying to think about what battles?
No, animals. I know you've had battles.
I've had horses.
And big crowd scenes too. Yeah.
I've had badly drawn horses. I've had badly drawn like oxen.
Okay.
I don't remember the option.
Yeah, there's oxen towing the mecha in
Oh,
whatever chapter that was.
okay.
So yeah, and I've had small appearances by badly drawn horses, and yeah, not much else. I think the story hasn't called for anything else. Or maybe there was a donkey galloping away.
Okay.
Yeah, my brain tells me, but yeah, there's not much else. There are actually birds and snakes, but they weren't. No, there was a bird and a snake, but not really because they were on a decorative screen in a hotel room. So
okay,
there you go. I've got an encyclopedic knowledge of my own comic. Fancy that. But yeah, not by choice. There haven't been like, I don't know, cats and dogs and all this kind of crap. So cats and dogs are hard to draw.
Oh yeah.
I can draw horses, almost. I mean, badly, but dogs and cats, that's a different level. That's hard. I mean, maybe for some people. Oh, go on.
I can draw cats, I think, and some dogs maybe, if I have reference. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just starting to branch out into animals by necessity at this point. So
I was gonna say, yeah, horses definitely will be. Have they been in Verdant already? I think so, right?
well, the Jaspa, the ram horse thing.
Yeah.
They're not exactly horses. They are like a mishmash of a ram and like a goat and a horse.
Right.
And usually I use like from the shoulder down. It's a it's a horse with thicker legs than a horse would have. If
Right.
that makes sense. And from the neck up, it's a ram. So that's
Yes.
the ram horse. The
Yeah.
Jaspa.
Beautifully curved horns.
Yeah, I love those horns. Honestly, that's why they are rams, because I wanted to draw the horns. So
Yes, rams have lovely, lovely horns.
yeah.
Oh, I did draw an animal the other day for the last week actually for the Quackcast cover image. I did a spherical cow,
Oh yeah, you
Oh,
did.
that's right. Beautiful.
and then I realized I didn't draw any udders on a spherical cow. Oh my god! And then I realized it's not a spherical cow because it's got a head and legs. If it had to be spherical, it would be fully spherical. Oh, you idiot!
It was a young cow, okay? No other.
The others hadn't developed. Yeah, it didn't. It wasn't completely developed into the spherical shape, so it's still.
It was developing.
Exactly.
Exactly.
But yeah, that was interesting. I had to get lots of images of a cow in order to draw that because it was very hard to draw from memory. So
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
photos.
Honestly, I draw a lot of things from reference. There's no way for me to draw from memory stuff that, like, I'm not really familiar with most stuff. Uh, Even when I want to draw like I don't know, a car or a table, I want to look at the table first, and
Right.
or a car. So
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things. Like I was saying, Pinky Tio, that all happens. Most of the story happens within this diner, and I can't keep in my mind the spatial memory of like what this place looks like inside, and so it's all undrawn. All the tables that people say, sometimes I do draw it, but I can't really remember the layout from page to page, panel to panel. So it really, doesn't make sense to keep having to orient myself where the action's happening and where things should be. So I think of the inside of the diner as being like magically undefined. So it can be in whatever layout that I feel like. That's how I want to sort of think about it, rather than being, okay, so we've got the row of like the window seats here, and then we've got the bar here, and then the toilet over there. It's sort of like, yeah, it's just whatever shape we want it to be. Like an early like movie set or sitcom set, the way they used to be, where they would just sort of, manipulate things to show the best action, rather than to say, the set is always going to be in this kind of layout, because that makes sense. I don't even know if that's even a good explanation. That might be total bullshit.
Isn't a sitcom always the same?
Most modern sitcoms are, but I'm thinking like back in the past, there might have been, in order to show, suddenly we've got this cellar room or this back room, you just add areas to the place in order to facilitate whatever aspect of the story you want. I sort of feel about Bottomless Waitress like that, because we have like a massive refrigerator room that's in some scenes, and where is that going to be within the diner? I don't know. It's a small diner. Why would it have a huge refrigerator?
One of those trailer style diners or whatever those.
Yeah,
they're called. There'll be no room for it. Yeah,
and it's this diner has a massive like change room area, and it has like the way I think about it, at least, showers and all this kind of stuff. Like,
it's magic. Okay, it is magic.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I don't, like I'm saying, I don't know where all the tables are. I'm not going to draw them each time, and all the customers. It's the important people are Francis, Polly, Jane, Craig, and now the chef. We've even got a kitchen now suddenly.
That's right.
Done that. Those are the important characters. Everybody else just pops up like background characters in a dream.
Yeah.
Stars.
Yeah, exactly. And they disappear like tears in the rain. So yeah, that's Bottomless Waitress is a perfect idea, a perfect example of things undrawn. But I think every comic is, to a certain extent. Like in any comic, like in Without Moonlight, Verdant, it's and Kaiju Valentine, Typical Strange. We're only showing within the scenes the stuff that's important to carry the story along. Yeah. And a lot of the background is never going to be shown. Never even going to be thought of, really.
Another thing that I really need to make for Verdant is the map, because it will be necessary for the plot later. Like, where is everything? Where is the despotate? Where is the forest, if it had it? Where is everything else? Like, how are they separated in? And I avoid, like, I should make it, but every time I sit down to make it, I say I should be drawing the page instead, and then go on and do the page, or make some of the page, and like eventually I will make the map, because it has to exist for the story to make sense in a bit, not yet.
Yeah, where the action goes.
Yeah.
But what is the layout of the castle, You have that in mind. And the rooms in the castle.
Yeah.
Where are the doors? Where are the windows? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I have a very rough idea of how the castle, like, where all the knights are, like the comic, where they are. Like, it's supposed to have like a double curtain wall, and then the castle proper is like dead in the center, and it has like the older structures, because it's supposed to be like 1,000-year-old castle or something like that.
Yeah.
And there are inner courtyards and the outer courtyard that is between the curtain walls. and that's all I know. So
Yeah, you keep and you've got that kind of standard kind of layout exactly.
yeah, and I also know that there has to be like this huge semi open gallery, because there are, I know I'm going to have a scene in it, so I know it exists in the inner parts of the castle. Um,
Yeah. So do you think in terms of like I want to set up this room and show it first? It doesn't always matter,
um,
to be
yeah,
honest.
I do have some rooms that I want to show because although they are going to be background, they are going to be doing a lot of storytelling about the character that is in them,
Yeah.
that owns the room. So I do have some rooms in my mind that I dread of drawing, know that I will need to draw, and, and yeah, I sort of look forward to having finished drawing them.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
um, yeah.
And I was just thinking, say Kaiju Valentine is 3D,
Yeah.
so that means you have these rooms actually
Mm,
constructed in a way, but you don't necessarily have them all filled up. And because even though it's 3D, you don't necessarily like view the room from 360 degrees, do you? You might view it like you do in a film set. Like one area is always open.
Yeah, many times. And it's funny doing a comic though, you want to move the camera around. You want to see different things and have the characters doing whatever you want. There are plenty of times I just take out the background. Like a drawn comic, will sometimes have no background. It'll just have, kind of a gradient even or something like that.
Oh yeah,
I don't know how bad that looks or if it's really working. People who comment are super forgiving.
it
But
doesn't look bad. Like I always used to hate doing that for Pinky TA, and I used to like always want to have like a situational, contextual background in every scene.
mm,
And I've realized the more I've been doing it that it doesn't really matter, because people don't really care about that stuff. So you don't need
yeah.
to do that.
I mean, so if there's like an action scene or like some kind of physical movement thing that's going to be happening, you might want a sense of place and a sense of where everyone's standing and what, like, how is it all set up, so so you can see it before the action happens, so it makes sense.
Yeah, you want to
So
establish
sometimes it
everything.
matters more. Yeah.
You don't actually have to continue showing in every shot.
Right.
Yeah, which is I would always do in Pinky TA. Always show every single freaking thing. But yeah. I mean, part of that was in Pinky TA. It was because it was a very drawn comic, a very painterly kind of thing. The scenery would influence how the characters would look like. So if you're coloring everything and you're doing a nice painterly effect, the backgrounds would influence how the character would be colored and how they would look. So it was important to have that. But I've sort of stepped back even from doing that in Pinky TA now. I think in later kind of parts, and I've just sort of thought, okay, so what's the overall color that this scene results in? Oh, kind of like a bluey kind of thing with a red tone. Okay, so this panel here just has to be those tones. I don't have to do the actual complicated things within the scene. So,
Yeah.
and for Bottomless Waitress, I actually just leave it as a plain background.
Yeah.
Or have it totally stylized. So yeah. Backgrounds are left undrawn.
Yeah.
So would you have like people using toilets? Or would that always be an undrawn thing?
No,
I think for me it would always be undrawn. I just wouldn't want to see it. It's more of a TV thing to just not show that stuff.
Mm.
So I think just automatically I would use it. I mean, you never know, but not that I'm not planning on it.
I think if the plot calls for it, if there is something like if it's necessary for the plot, if plot takes place in the bathroom,
Yeah.
then I would do it.
Okay. Well, in Pinky TI, it definitely happened. That's a toilet scene.
That's your opening scene. It's so fun.
Not necessarily the opening scene, but yeah, it's pretty early on. So yeah,
Yeah.
that happens. Oh my god! And I would never change that. So
No, that's
there.
great. It's
That's
so
part of
fun.
history.
Isn't that how we meet the character at least? I gotta look again at the early pages. I think that's how we
Nah.
meet Pinky. He's behind the door of the stall.
No,
Yeah, maybe
it's like a few pages, like maybe 10 pages
Oh,
in or
okay.
something. But
Yeah.
it's after she has a drunken night.
Oh, okay,
So,
right.
Yeah.
Love it.
But yeah, I wasn't when I started Pinky TA. I was not shy of just drawing anything that I thought was funny or the plot required.
Mhm.
So yeah, I was right up for that. And I've still sort of been a bit like that, even in later pages when I'm doing this bloody land battleship that I frickin' hate doing. But I forced myself to do it, and it's a nightmare, and it's not a good thing to do. Like mecha battles as well. Like it's fair enough drawing this crazy mecha with all their complicated, struts and mechanical parts and joints and that, but then drawing them in battles and things, oh my god, it's hard.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I regret doing that kind of stuff. That's kind of stuff you should leave undrawn. I do like machine guns, weapons. Mostly that's undrawn. That would be in this world, and I don't have very many guns drawn. Like I have guns on machines, but I don't have people holding guns all the time. That's a very undrawn thing in my comic. So that you'd think there'd be more of.
I guess so. My impression of it is we have a lot in that.
Yeah, that's
I guess
how
you're right. Yeah.
Yeah,
we say we don't look for more guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of it's hinted that you think everybody would be well armed and there'd be a thing, but yeah, I mean they occasionally show up, but most of the time they don't. So.
Yeah.
The one thing now I realize that I don't draw is fingernails.
Fingernails are hard.
And the only time I draw the fingernails is if the person has painted nails.
Right.
That's the time I actually paint the fingernails.
Yeah. Like Iris.
That's interesting.
Yeah, Iris always has painted nails, so fingernails.
Yeah. Fingernails are freaking hard because they're this weird little line that define the end of the finger, and that means they angle the finger. So depending on where they are, it shows which angle the fingers are. So it adds layers of complication. And fingernails just don't sit on a finger flat; they curve around.
Yeah.
So, they're a pain in the ass.
I generally don't like the look of fingernails on my hands, like on the way I draw hands. I mean, I do on occasion draw their hint, like small little semicircular lines indicating where the nail begins. Like sometimes I draw that, especially if it is necessary to show the alignment of the thumb. That's when I do it usually.
Okay.
But yeah, I generally like the more abstracted look of a hand, which is hypocritical of me because I always draw the knuckles. And
Nice.
yeah, and I often draw the phalanges showing through the skin.
Yes.
because I really like that. That is something I really like to draw on the hand. So,
Yeah, you draw hands very well always, Tans.
oh,
Always.
thank
You
you.
do. They
Excellent.
look great. Yeah, man.
I
Amazing.
really like those hands, honestly.
Speaking of
Um,
hands, that's something undrawn in Pinky, not in Pinky, in Bottomless Waitress. Hands. I do
Oh.
draw hands, but often, very rarely, often, very, that doesn't make, that's an oxymoron. I draw hands rarely, don't have to say often, very rarely, and the fingers are often quite stylized. So I just draw the
Yeah.
shape of a hand holding something rather than all the individual fingers. So,
Right.
yeah.
I
It
have
saves
not.
time. Saves a little.
It does. And I stylize them well enough that you don't have to show them all. But yeah, it's because if you get something wrong with a hand, if I get something wrong with a hand, I obsess about it and have to go back over it and over it and over it, and then I just become just fall down a hole, going over and over and over and over and over and over, like some sort of obsessive compulsive. So it's not a good idea.
There are some times where, and usually it's like a position of the hand that is more complex for me will be often easier to draw, like easier to actually pin down. And then I have to draw a hand just resting somewhere, being a hand, minding its own business. And it will not look like a hand. It looks like a shovel or like something, or like something that looks like that
A
it needs a
punching
dog.
glove.
Yeah, and
Meaty fist.
yeah. Or like, what are you doing, brain? Like we just drew this amazing hand like in the previous panel, and what is this now? Like
A
you
club.
have you have spent all your fancy hand drawing tokens today. No more.
No more hands for you.
Yeah, and when that happens, I just either change the hand gesture so that it is a bit easier for me to pin down, or I just say, F it. It is what it is. It is a shovel. I'll move on.
Put something in front of it, or
No, I don't even like.
whatever.
I am audacious enough to just not put anything in front of it. Just they now have shovel for hands.
Yeah.
It's canon.
I'm expending some effort to make my hands look better.
Mm.
In Continuity Falls is the one I draw almost every week. Not this
Mm-hmm.
week. But yeah, making more of an effort to do them well because hands is one of many weak points in my artwork. And in Continuity Falls, you mentioned fingernails. I started doing fingernails and knuckles, at least a very cartoony version. It helps with these hillbilly characters. It gives them more grit and like sort of makes them look a little more earthy. Especially Truck, the main guy, and
Yeah,
some
yeah.
other characters. Makes them a little, they just look a little more scungy and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, black
yeah, it
fingernails.
helps. I haven't done dirty fingernails. I just kind of do a basic fingernail. Most of the time. Anyway.
Black fingernails can work though. Those kind of people often have like bashed fingers and
True.
poor old hurting nails.
But any detail can be emphasized. Like when you're doing a cartoony style, like you add too much and it can give the wrong impression. Like it's so easy to make the character look way older than they're supposed to look.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the lines on the
like,
face ages someone massively.
Yeah.
But that's another thing undrawn. I don't really draw all the wrinkles that should be in faces because it can age the character too much. You create the wrong impression. So I often leave that out and make people unnaturally smooth.
I draw the lines. I do draw the lines on the face.
Well, the difference there is you've been doing it for a long time.
Yes.
You've done it. You sort of have mastered it, and you don't age characters too much.
Oh, thank you.
Us who
No,
aren't used to it.
it's a more detailed
I think
as well.
that's
It's a more
more like
realistic style.
you
Yeah.
expect a little bit more. And I also like, but thank you. That helps with my imposter syndrome situation. But, I think the secret in drawing lines on the face without aging it is not making them long. Just
Oh yeah.
denote very like a little knot here and there, just to show where the crease starts, where you need it. Like for example, if you have like puffy under eyes or what, or like especially the most dangerous one is the lines around the nostrils that move diagonally down to the mouth.
Corners of the mouth there, or the
Mhm.
cheek lines. Yeah, those are
Yeah,
tricky.
if you just make a very very short, very very tapered line, it doesn't age the face. It just shows that okay, this is where there is a natural crease
Yeah.
of the skin, and that's how I usually do it.
Yeah, that's weird because that line, like you say, it can age massively, but most people have those lines. You know, even kids can have those lines, especially when they smile. That's a super common thing. His face just goes into those lines, so they're in everybody. But yeah, it's a tricky one.
The hardest lines I ever had to draw on a face was on Alex, the kid, like the girl that is so thin that she basically looks aged, like more aged. But thinness doesn't crease the face exactly like old age does. So you have to be very. I at least had to sort of walk a tightrope between. Okay, I have to show that her skin is taut over her bones, and
Mhm.
it creases in different ways that it shouldn't. But she's not old. She's actually a very young kid, and that was hard. That was very hard.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
me.
you have to give them big eyes and stuff like that.
Yeah, you have to make
Steven old.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you have to remember to keep the features rounded in strategic places and pointier in others to imply that this is thinness that you are looking at.
Right.
It's uh,
Not wizenedness.
yes.
Yeah, there are some key differences between skinny, young, and old, wrinkly necks,
Yeah.
heavier jaws,
We're starting to
thicker
get
cheeks.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
gotta have our neck plastic surgery done, Tans. We'll have a joint appointment.
No, there's I will I mean I don't know if I get some kind of weird obsession later on in life, but I will not do plastic surgery just for looks. Only, only if, God forbid, there is some deformity that happens, then yes, but not that. Like, I
Don't
have
worry,
worked for my age. I'm not ashamed of
you've
it.
earned it. Don't worry,
Yeah.
I'll convince you that it's important for your health.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Oh dear. But yeah, so lines, that's a particular thing, and
mm,
drawing older characters, which can be really fun when you actually get into it.
yeah.
When you need to draw an older character, and oh my god, the lines you can have fun with. It's
Mm,
really, really cool to do.
yeah.
But what are children? I don't draw a lot of children because that's another thing. Oh my god, drawing a child it's a challenge.
Mm,
Jeez. I prefer to
different
leave those
proportions,
undrawn. Yeah.
completely different proportions. So,
Exactly, the bigger heads,
mhm.
to the body proportion. Oh my goodness me. They don't necessarily have bigger eyes. It's just the eyes are often, the eyelids open wider, that kind of stuff. They don't frown as much.
Yeah.
So, and proportionately, things are different.
Yeah, the head is
Yeah, the head is much bigger compared to the rest of the body.
Yeah, the younger the kid, the bigger the head, basically. That's the rule of thumb.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah, I don't draw kids mostly. I've probably done it a few times, but yeah, we've never done any kids in Bottomless Waitress. And we'll stick with not having kids in that comic because it doesn't fit them anyway in that world.
Yeah.
No, they probably won't show up unless you see a customer in the background or just one moment or something. Yeah.
Or someone in the street, that kind of thing.
Right.
They'd be background, rather than being features.
What I haven't really drawn is rotund people, like fat people or buxom people, or generally people that are fuller in shape.
Curvy.
Yeah, curvaceous. Like curvaceous, I have drawn. I just haven't drawn varieties of people with more weight on them. I have
It's
one.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Well, you have Hackett.
Yeah, but I haven't drawn him.
Oh, that's Pitface. Yeah, you're right.
And the reason for that is because mostly in Without Moonlight, people were simply not fat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the reason for that
Because
was
you had starvation.
exactly
Right.
everyone was starving. So the only people that were, and even they had to watch to not be actually overweight, or they would be pegged as collaborators. So it was a hazard.
And Nazis couldn't necessarily be overweight either because they'd be, there'd be military standards that would prevent them. So you'd have to be a high-ranking person like Goering or something to be a big fat ass.
Yeah.
So most people weren't like him.
However, in Verdant, I plan, like I have certain people that I haven't introduced yet. I'm hoping to draw some more rotund people in Verdant soon.
I mean, in Pinky TA, it's not a common thing, but there's my character Betty, who is a bit curvy, and I love drawing her. So it's really freeing, and it's hard when you are locked into drawing a particular style figure. It's hard to transition into doing that kind of thing, but it's rewarding to learn how to do it. And obviously, you get better as you go, but it's really good fun to draw different shaped figures. It really is. So, I love drawing that character.
Yeah.
And the trick with her isn't to make her obese or anything. Like, or comical, just to make her look like a normal person who is just overweight. And that's how she looks. And it's really cool to draw that.
For sure.
Especially because someone like Pinky is more kind of athletic or whatever. So yeah, it's a very different build.
Yes, you get that contrast.
Exactly. And then Bottomless Waitress, oh my god, we have all those body types. But there are things where I do draw and not things I don't draw. We don't draw anorexic characters. Oh my god, there's something. And I don't think that I want to draw anorexic characters.
No.
Right.
I've seen plenty of anorexic people in real life, and I do not want to show that.
Yeah.
Because I live very close to the beach, and yeah, you see those people, and it's horrifying. Yeah, like even worse than Tanta's starving characters in Without Moonlight.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. honestly, I haven't brought myself to draw starving people out on the curb more than once. So you're welcome.
Closest to that is your skeleton character, but that's just
Right, yeah.
Yeah. But
Beyond anorexic.
he's not thin. He's just glowing.
yeah. There's a
He's
body on the outside of that.
He's actually buff if you pay attention to his outline.
Yeah,
His
it's the,
body.
Oh, right.
it's the invisible body.
Yeah.
It's basically just a glowing skeleton, which was actually something I read in the famous Fafard and the Grey Mouser. Oh, our time's running out. But yeah, there was he wrote these characters that they were ghouls, and the ghouls were actually like that. They had glowing skeletons. So there you go. Fritz Lieber is the writer. Okay, our time is up.
Yeah.
This has been Quackcast number 765. Ocean, Banes and Tarts. Goodbye, people.
Bye-bye.
Bye.